In the past, people were asking about what devotion I'd given when I was in Mexico, so I'll put it out there for you so that you can see it. I grew up in Canada, and my parents and we went to church. There was an empty space in my life. I talked to the minister, and he said to be happy with what I had. I knew that I had to get an answer to this, or God would hold me responsible. I went to university and talked to a lot of people about this. Each one had different suggestions on how to fill this space. It was very confusing. One of the people that I talked to from the university were people from the Latter-day Saints. They give their book to people in Mexico and say, read this, it's your history. But that's not correct. To tell you the truth, it's a book of fables that was published in the United States 1400 years after the fact. A friend from university invited me to go to church. People came and told me how I could find an answer to this problem that I had with this space in my life. They said, pray and accept Christ as my Savior. That empty space in my life has been filled with Christ. Life has gotten better. It is not always easy, but God is with us as we go each day. John 11:25, Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. There's a great contrast between being dead and living, but Christ is able to take care of this. When we look at the context in John 11, verses 18 to 44, we see a bunch of things in there that are rather important. Lazarus is dead, and he's talking to Martha about this. Jesus says some very profound things. He weeps in verse 35, and then calls Lazarus out of the grave in verse 44. What can we say about this? I want to tell you about what I saw the first time that I read this chapter before I became a Christian. It became clear to me that Jesus does not have the powers of an ordinary man. We can see in this chapter that Jesus keeps his promises. Some men don't keep their promises, and it's hard to rely on them. Jesus says that those who follow him will be with him in heaven. We haven't seen that happen ourselves, but we can trust Jesus to keep his promises, to take us there.